Hey guys, it's Alex. Welcome to episode number 8 of the Capital Map. Now this one hits a little bit closer to home for me because this is actually the community that I was fortunate to grow up in. Today we're unpacking some of Victoria's most desirable seaside communities in Cadboro Bay, 10 Mile Point, and Queenswood, and telling you more about the pros and cons. Let's get into it. So where in Victoria are these neighborhoods? Well, we're at the easternmost point of Southern Vancouver Island with 10 Mile Point at the end, and we're just north of the border from Oak Bay in the municipality of Saanich, which has about 117,000 people and is the most populous municipality in the city of Victoria. From here in Cadboro Bay, we're about a 20-minute drive to downtown Victoria. Starting things off with Cadboro Bay, this neighborhood sits in between the University of Victoria and runs down the hillside towards Cadboro Bay Beach. It's the most approachable of the three and offers the greatest mix of housing options, with a lot of density focused around the center of that village. That will be the plan from Saanich, as the official community plan identifies the village center as the area where density is needed. For now, it's mostly homes built prior to 1980, although there are a nice mix of newer homes that have found their way into Cadboro Bay. Next up is 10 Mile Point. This is the peninsula that runs along the north end of Cadboro Bay and is actually 10 nautical miles from CFB Esquimalt, which is where it gets its name. The neighborhood is characterized by large estate-sized lots that are extremely private and some of Victoria's best waterfront. And the last neighborhood that makes up the trifecta, Queenswood, just north of Arbutus Road, is a beautiful forested community. As soon as you head down Queenswood Drive, you'll feel like you're miles away from any civilization and you're way out in the countryside with beautiful forested lots. That also means it's a little bit darker, and because we face north, some of these waterfront properties, although massive and with incredible homes, aren't as good on the exposure side as some in 10 Mile Point. So what kind of homes are in these communities? Well, in Cadboro Bay, 10 Mile Point, and Queenswood, there aren't a ton of strata options, but up at the top of 10 Mile Point, you have Wedgwood Estates, which is 133 strata lot and mixture of condo and townhouse options. Down here in Cadboro Bay, there's about 8 condo and townhouse options for you to consider, but on the whole, it's mostly single-family detached homes. The average price point of a detached home in all 3 neighborhoods in 2022 is north of $2.2 million. Townhomes come in just north of $1.3 million, and because there aren't a lot of condo options and many of them are more upscale or have ocean views, the average in 2022 was just north of $1.1 million. There are about 4,000 residents in these 3 communities, with Cadboro Bay as the most dense, with just over 1,700 residents. The median age in Cadboro Bay and Queenswood are just under 50, and on 10 Mile Point, which is more focused on retirees, it's 57. The pros. Number 1 for me is that this is Victoria's best beach at Cadboro Bay Beach and Gyro Park. The reason I say that is because you've got kilometers of sandy beach, lots of great space for kids and dogs to play, south-facing and sheltered beachfront that stays warm in the summer, and close proximity to Cadboro Bay Village and all the amenities that you need. Pro number 2, Cadboro Bay Village is one of the best villages in Greater Victoria. What I mean by that is a place you can walk to from your doorstep and get to everything that you need in 15 minutes or less. We've got a great grocery store at Peppers here, you have a pharmacy and tons of great restaurants and just about everything that you need in a great little package. Pro number 3, it's private. Especially out here on 10 Mile Point or over in Queenswood, we have similar lot sizes to what you would find in coveted areas like the Uplands and Oak Bay, but there's more trees, more foliage, and generally it's a little bit more quiet and like countryside living in these 2 communities. Pro number 4, I would contend that these 3 communities, more specifically 10 Mile Point, has some of the best waterfront property in all of Greater Victoria, mostly because we have rare southern exposure from a lot of the coastline of 10 Mile Point that sits on this side of Cadboro Bay. You also have a beautiful active outlook with the Victoria Marina just opposite. Pro number 5, all of these 3 communities are just about a 20-minute drive to the hustle and bustle of downtown Victoria, but when you're out here, you feel like you're living a true rural countryside experience that's peaceful, tranquil, and connected to nature. Con number 1, this is a recurring theme in this catalog of neighborhoods in Victoria, but Cadboro Bay, 10 Mile Point, and Queenswood are expensive. And because we have all of this oceanfront property and all of these large estate-sized lots on 10 Mile Point and Queenswood, it's not attainable for a lot of folks. Con number 2, These three communities have become less approachable for families, and there are less kids in these homes than other parts of Victoria. Just 38% of households in Cadboro Bay, even though it's the most approachable of these three, still have kids at home. And con number 3 is because of our proximity to the University of Victoria, many of these homes have been converted to student rentals. Hidden gem number 1, the local pub or watering hole is here at Smuggler's Cove Pub. That namesake comes from a little cove out on 10 Mile Point that was used by rum runners during Prohibition years to bring liquor here from the US. But it's just off of Cadboro Bay Road and you might not catch it if you're just driving through. Hidden gem number 2, we have great locally owned coffee shops down here in Cadboro Bay at Mocha House and Olive Olio's into the left of me. Olive Olio's is the legacy coffee house, Mocha House is the new one. These are great places to meet with friends and family, grab a quick bite or a great coffee. Hidden gem number 3, all the little beaches, coves, and accesses to the ocean front around 10 Mile Point and Queenswood. There are dozens of these little tucked away beaches and spots where locals come down and escape the crowds at Cadboro Bay Beach just to have their own little private oasis by the seaside. Hidden gem number 4, one of my favorite things to do when it gets hot out is rent a paddleboard from the Gyro Beach board shop. They set it up on a trolley for you. You can carry it down to Gyro Beach to head out on the water and cool down. Hidden gem number 5, more of a hidden fact than a hidden gem. Caddy, or the Cadbrosaurus, is this green monster that sits at Cadboro Gyro Park. The reason why it's called the Cadbrosaurus is this is our version of the Loch Ness Monster for this area. There have been more than 300 sightings over the last 200 years in or around Cadboro Bay and Southern Vancouver Island of this monster. Whether he exists or not, you might be the one to find out. Hidden gem number 6. Although I'm a little biased because I'm a graduate of this primary school, I think Frank Hobbs Elementary is in one of the best natural settings that we have on offer for an elementary in Greater Victoria, especially here in the core neighborhoods where you have schools sitting on arterial roads that are busy and not connected to nature. Frank Hobbs is a little different. You have beautiful giant fir trees. This is an amazing place for your kids to experience the natural beauty of Victoria BC. As these are the neighborhoods I grew up in, I'm quite fond of them, and I think if you're a family or a retiree, there's likely not a better place to spend time by the sea and in Victoria BC than in these three communities. They're connected to nature, they're private, and they've got great access to all the amenities that you need. Thanks for checking out this episode of The Capital Map. Make sure you subscribe for more great content about our beautiful city if you haven't already, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.